We are back. This is the latest episode of Don't At Me with Michael and Alex.
Oh, yeah.
In studio, feeling good, feeling live. We are here with our guest, Ashley Nevel, good friend of the show.
Welcome back.
Hey! How are you guys?
So she is back in the building. We love it. Hey, man, you should have came in and attacked it like Saturday Night Live. You know how they do like, and we're now Don't At Me.
Wait. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Shabbat Shalom. It is Don't At Me with Michael and Alex. We are back in studio in the building, live from Beverly Hills, with our guest, Ashley Nevel.
Hey!
Welcome back. Remember the May song? Welcome back. Ashley is back in the building. Oh, it's about to be so litty and pretty.
Here.
Man, I'm looking at my side profile for those who are watching this, and my side profile looks like the Pokemon Slugma. The one that looks like a slug. Or like that woman from Monsters, Inc. The one that's like the slug that rolls around. Mr. Wazowski.
No, I'm flying.
Mike
Wazowski.
Yeah, I don't watch that stuff. Child.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
And this episode is sponsored by Bolt 24. No, it's not an actual sponsor. We're just like EJ's Nito Stab at Night, but this is delicious.
Shout out Bolt, man. Superman's dog, man. Shout out that guy. Woof, woof. But, man, yeah, we here. Ashley Nevel, our girl, our friend. Sound like girlfriend. That's crazy. But, man,
this is what we get into. This is a casual Friday night. This is a casual Friday night.
Hey, facts. But, man, Ashley is back.
You have to cut all this.
She took an 8-hour.
This is what it's about.
You guys just kill me. I can't.
And she took an 8-hour drive from
6.
New Mexico.
New Mexico.
But, a 6-hour drive from Arizona.
Yes.
Thank you for being. She came down just for us, guys. Like we're so amazing. We love her. But but yeah. So Ashley, thank you for stopping by. Don't At Me with Michael and Alex. And man, what have you been up to? Tell everyone what you've been working on. Been doing a lot of great things.
Thank you.
So,
I've just been getting quarantine interviews, basically. So. I'll just reach out to some guys, be like, hey, I want an interview, and we'll just talk about what they've been doing and everything in the quarantine bubble. So nothing too big, but also been working on some other projects, like typing some articles and some interviews that haven't been released yet. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, it's been going good. I've been laying low. Obviously, things are really different right now, so that kind of sucks. But
so
that,
tell us about your favorite. First of all, you gotta give yourself some credit and show yourself some love. Talk about the big names that you were able to talk to during the quarantine.
So we had Charles Barkley. That was a good one.
Chuck!
Yeah, Chuck.
You can't see it, Chuck, but you're featured on the back of this.
Yes.
Yeah, we gotta take a picture of that and put it up.
That was an awesome interview. You know what's crazy is I forgot that I had his phone number like in my phone, and I was like, wait, I think I got his number.
She got it like that, guys.
That's
oh my god! No, I just sometimes forget like whose numbers I have, and I was just like, all right, my Instagram is getting dry. I need some more interviews. So I reached out. Didn't think like he would respond because I've had the phone for so long or the number. And he's like, yeah, like we can, do an interview like next week or whatever time you're thinking or whatnot. So that's how that worked out.
So kids, you just learned right now that it's real. You miss every shot you don't shoot, all right? Shoot that thing.
You got to shoot the shot.
Yeah.
For sure. So that was a good interview.
To knock off the Wayne Gretzky quote.
Man, get out of here.
John Morant was awesome too. Who else did I interview?
Rookie of the year, that's tight.
Yeah, Ja was a good interview for sure. Trying to think who else I interviewed. Jason Terry was another one. He obviously signed with
the Jets.
Arizona.
See how she got it? Who else did I interview? All these big names.
I'm like, yeah, who else? I'm just rattling them all off.
Next you gotta casually just go like, oh yeah, Michael Jordan,
this one, no big deal.
We had this great interview just outside of his party during this like cabana event.
Yeah.
It was the quarantine.
I know about the last dance before the last dance.
Right, I was at a private party.
I was hanging with him. I was hanging with Steve
and what's
Ballmer
that legendary
and
guy?
KG and all these guys.
And she's like,
they were hanging out at the Catalina Wine Mixer last year, right?
She's like, what's that legendary guy? He used to play for the Celtics. I talked to him. I'm like, Bill Russell?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that guy Billy, whatever his name
Billy
was.
Russell.
Larry Bird, he was there too.
Yeah,
He's
the
awesome.
Bird guy, I don't know.
You know the guy that has all the shoes?
Yeah.
Jordan Brand?
Indiana dude,
That dude.
blonde hair. I think you have a ball signed by him,
Hey, so Ash, what has been the most awkward interview that you've taken part in?
Awkward. it's hard for me to answer these questions because obviously I want to like stay on good terms with everyone.
No, don't state any names. Just tell us like what happened.
An awkward interview. I think there was one, I'm not going to name who, but we were all in a scrum and like he hates the media. So I don't know if it's like anxiety, but like he was was literally midway through the sentence, just got up and walked away.
Wow.
Didn't even like say bye to anybody, like nothing, just got up and walked away. And like we knew that about him. Like we kind of respected at this point, but I would say that was pretty awkward because we were all just kind of like, wait, what just happened?
Why?
Yeah, but I would say that was pretty weird. But most of the time, everyone's pretty chill. I mean, it just depends. I mean, some guys don't want to talk too, especially after a game or if they're just not in a good mood. I mean, they're humans just like all of us, you know?
Have you caught any players in that quote-unquote bad mood after a game?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they get in bad moods.
What was the worst moment that you can remember? I don't need names or players, but...
Worse, I wouldn't say they're like so bad to the point where they're like punching walls and like talking shit, but I mean, there's been some guys who just like they get asked a dumb question and they're just like,
they give them the rough look.
like you're asking us this question, like like I would say the dumb questions definitely make them mad, then also if they just lost or. You know, especially after a loss, because then it's just like they really don't want to talk to you.
They don't want to be bothered.
So why do you think you guys lost this game? Like, were you watching?
Yeah, like, it's just like the same repetitive over and over questions. Guys are just like.
You know what I've learned is that from covering like the Clippers this year, is a lot of those people that show up to ask these questions don't actually know what they're talking
about. That's the craziest thing that I noticed as well. We were talking about this. Like these guys show up. And it's almost like they're given the tidbits or the like tiny little bullet points that you see at the top of every Forbes and Business Insider article.
Yeah.
And then they go to the players and ask them those little bullet point questions and expect some type of amazing response where it's like you're getting a stereotypical robotic answer.
Do you watch the game?
I'm ready
and know
for
what's going on?
You know what I'm saying? You're fishing for the gossip heavy storylines like the TMZs as opposed to shooting for what we strive for, which is the real ESPN style. You know?
Well, I think players start to catch on that stuff too. Like they've even called out reporters being like, I know what you're trying to do here. Like you're not really trying to get an interview. Like you're not really trying to like ask me a genuine question. Like you're trying to get something that's going to get you clicks, get you likes, something that's gonna blow up, and it's not cool.
There was that interview with Draymond Green when they were talking about how the Houston Rockets were playing them, and then there was a flood in Houston. They were trying to like control.
I remember that.
And that guy was trying to connect the 2 points, and Draymond just had to set it straight. Like the media sometimes, we're all victim of this. We're all a part of it too.
Facts,
Like we're a victim in that we're trying to do what's right by what we know is right.
And we're trying to get a great good answer.
Compass,
so some of the guys who don't know the game as well, they're just going to ask something outlandish to make the players give that type of response. When you know the game, you're going to give a question where they're going to be able to give you a real basketball response.
Well, I think too, like if you really want to build a rapport with some of the athletes as well, I think it's important to ask different questions that are not just like your cookie cutter, question answer style that you typically see in like a newsroom. And that's, I think, a lot of it is like the people in the newsrooms. Those are the ones that I think that like have the biggest issue with that is because they really don't have
tabloid heavy headlines.
Well, they're selling the headlines, but I also don't think they have time to truly tap into what's going on every single day because they're covering so much. So as opposed to us who are like strictly basketball, we're like, okay, basketball, everything. So we have time to like, all right, we're going to the shoot arounds. Okay, we're following, on social media with everything that's going on. Okay, we're in the mix with it as opposed to like stations that are just covering so much. It's hard when you have like a specific, like niche or something that you're covering every day. It's way easier to be able to get more into those deeper stories because you're seeing it. When you're at the shoot around all the time, you kind of, just by watching like dialogue, who's kind of talking with who, and like you start to pick things up, and then talking to other reporters. Oh, you heard this? Oh, I heard. Just things like that. I think that's just the difference between what we do and then just typical newsroom. But players for sure catch on to it, and that was one thing that I noticed going into starting my career was that like the questions were just like what? Like, there's just constant, like...
It's a standard, like, bullet point list of questions that you would ask almost to every type of player abroad, where you know it's, like, rated safe territory. Yeah, that's the thing. That's why it's really important for guys who are columnists and also podcast hosts and also radio hosts like us to have their voices shown and heard, because we're the ones actually diving in and giving the breadth to this info. Facts. We're the ones that are actually going in and getting the stories and talking about the things that are not only relevant to the fans and to the media, but also to the players. Yeah, we're that bridge.
That they can
We're really that bridge.
I tell players sometimes, like if I reach out and say, hey, I want to do an interview with you.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's it about? And for me, like I do want to have like a basis of like, okay, these are some of the things I want to talk about. But then I say, but you know, I want you to control the narrative. I want you to maybe give me some things that you want to talk about. And then I could just figure out the questions and bridge off of that. Yeah. Because I want them to feel comfortable, and I want them to understand, like, hey, I'm here to help you tell your story, or I'm here to kind of help people who are watching, fans, whoever, your teammates, people in the league, whoever that's coming to watch. Like, I want them to get a feel for who you are as a person, more so as opposed to like a player.
Yeah.
So I kind of
just a robot. You're
a person. Like you have other hobbies. You have other things that you do. I mean, people are. We're starting to see players more so have like their own brands. Yeah. And a lot of them have their own podcasts. A lot of them, even have things that they're doing that we don't really know about. That are helping people. So I think it's important for me to let those guys know that,
I'm trying to give you that.
I'm trying to I want to like chop it up with you. I also want to ask my questions, but I want you to tell your story. That's important to me.
That's perfect, because my next question is, what was like the most fun you had doing an interview with a player?
Oh, the most fun.
What would you say? Like, this was really fun, really exciting. I got great answers. Just the whole energy was just very fun.
Okay, I'll give you two different answers.
Okay.
Because one of my interviews that I'm thinking of where I felt like an amazing connection with this person, where I can literally talk to him all day, was Phil Handy, the Lakers assistant coach.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
Phil.
Yeah, which is that was the first time that we had ever done an interview. But I've met him a few times, and the interview was just like, wow. Like I felt like it was just, something that's like when I talk to you guys, I'm like, okay, like I connect with them. Like I'm on the same weight. Yeah, I'm on the same weight.
There's a level of understanding between all of us.
Yeah.
Like, connect with this,
there's a level of respect. Oh my God. There's a level of respect. So I think with Phil, like when we hopped on the IG Live, like, I had all my questions already planned, but it was more like conversational.
Yeah,
where, he would say something and I'd be like, that would lead it to like segue into my next question or... I just felt like I really vibed with him. It was a natural interview. And also, too, like, when you start interviewing guys that are a little bit older, whether they're coaches, whether they're former players, they have way more to say. And they're so... Wisdom, knowledge, experience. They just have all those years under their belt,
So what you're saying in terms of, like, the conversationalist style, like, that's getting normalized now by guys like Joe Rogan. That is the biggest change that has occurred. People were doing radio and doing it. Yes, think about the style. That's actually bridging the gap between fan and athlete and allowing people as fans and also business end of things to see that these players are not commodities. They're not the guys that you draft in fantasy. They're not the guys you talk about as if they were in another category.
But that's what you're taught in journalism school anyway, to make it conversational.
That's what we are taught. That's what you're taught, right? But what we are now getting as a socialized norm is the podcasting conversation style, allowing the conversation to flow naturally and giving everyone that voice allows everyone to get the breadth of information.
That's how we should be. So what would be the second one that you said?
The second one,
because I have one of my favorites that when I checked out, and I was like, oh, I love this. This is dope.
The one that I did?
Yeah.
Let me think. So, it's tough.
I have one.
Okay, I can't wait to hear your guys' answer on this. But I would say Dwayne Wade was a pretty good one too, just because I went in with all my questions prepared, and I knew that I wanted to ask him these particular questions.
Okay.
And so, like, we were in a scrum type setting, and a couple, reporters got a couple questions in at first, and then I just took over that whole interview, like, just rattling off question after question, because I almost felt like me and him were having conversation. We were talking a little bit about Derrick Rose, him, going to LA, he was going, I think, a couple days after Phoenix to play LeBron in his last game. He was on his farewell tour. I had all these questions prepared, and that was just a great interview too, because again, he was a veteran player. So he's someone that has all these stories, and I honestly wish that we had more time because I didn't want to stop talking to him because I was like, wow, like just the amount of knowledge I got just in like those 10 minutes, I was just like, man, can you imagine like a full 30-minute, hour conversation that you can get from someone who's literally been through everything, like he just has so many stories, like just his whole life is just so unique. And I think everyone can take away, everything, even stuff he's doing now, things that he talks about now. I'm like, wow, like he's a leader both on and off the court. It's like a hero in a sense too. So I would say those are my two, Phil Handy and Dwayne Wade for sure.
Fact. What'd you say your favorite Ashley?
Isaiah Briscoe.
Isaiah? That's throwback, isn't it?
Wait, how long ago was that?
That was the pedicure one, correct?
That was Isaiah Canaan.
Isaiah Canaan, sorry.
Yeah. That was your favorite one?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, because the idea. Think about the idea.
Yeah.
How often do you see someone actively taking something that you would not coincide with an interview, almost like a day in the life type of feel, and applying that in the video? I think the reason why I like that the most is because it's the most creative and outlandish and allows you to really thoroughly see a player from a side that you would not expect.
Yeah,
in an unexpected situation. Yeah, because if you're getting them in that chair, right, and having that conversation, that means they're about to be as open with you as you've never seen. You are now in unexpected territory. And I think that was a great way to get an open and honest dialogue.
Thank you. I mean, I would do more stuff like that, but players are really, really difficult. And if any of you guys are watching, please stop being so difficult because I really have so many cool concepts and ideas.
Be yourself and enjoy it.
I just want to execute to the best of my ability. And if I had all the resources I wanted or had these guys like on board, I would rent out, different pedicure places all the time and I would have it there.
Hey, feel free to interview us and take us to get pedicures.
I've never done it before.
You've never gotten a pedicure?
No, I'm ticklish also on my feet. I'm never going to
what's going on with his feet.
I can show you they're beautiful.
I got just some nasty ass
Bro, I've seen your feet.
Mine are beautiful.
Bro, I got hairy feet.
You have to say yours are beautiful.
I'm about to put my feet on the table.
If you have to say
if you put your feet on my table, I'm going to kill
So I'm letting you guys know I'm showing Ashley my feet.
I don't want to see your feet.
She's going to love it. I guarantee you. I promise you that. But let me get to my favorite. My favorite was You Enjoy Taylor. I think like that was really dope. Like I watched the whole thing and it's just the energy that you guys were giving each other. It was just like two friends talking to each other and answering different questions and I just love the energy, seeing two women in sports coming together and doing their thing. I was like, oh, she's killing this. This is dope.
Thank you. Joy's awesome. Joy's definitely been a mentor in many ways. If I needed to ask her questions, she's always super open and honest. Any ideas that she might have for me to help, elevate my career. She's always been helpful. Every time I'm in town, hey, you want to come over to Fox Sports? She's always been one to help out with that. So she's cool. Definitely cool. But
shout out Joy.
Shout out Joy.
Fox
We love you.
Yeah, shout out Joy Taylor. But man, we got to talk about this NBA since that is where you can find Ashley. So make sure you guys check out all of her work. Don't at me. We are here. The best duo.
And as usual, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe at Alex Himes on here. Drop a like and a comment down below. Also, as usual, check him out, Michael the PG, myself out at Himes LA, HYMES LA everywhere. And we're back at it with Ashley Nevel.
We can't afford the sound yet, so we just do it ourselves.
Bro,
you can edit in.
Yeah. All I need is a micro SD card. And you know the sad thing? I have one. I have one, and I brought it here. Couldn't find it. I found it one day, brought it back to the condo, right? Couldn't find it, and I think my cat has it.
That's great.
Miss Kitty, if you have it,
Miss Kitty, we getting it from you.
Please.
Miss Kitty's always getting into something.
So Ash,
talk to me.
We see the NBA guys are now in the bubble, and it's a very, very unique situation for all these guys, and then for fans because we're getting to see it with them guys going on live and showing it. So, what's your feel about Like the guys arriving on a bubble so far. You know, what you think about
a Bible.
Yeah, I'm
That's what he
thinking of
said.
Bible.
Man, all I'm thinking of is like in Aladdin where they're on the magic carpet, but they're on a Bible.
Oh, Bible.
Just flying.
I mean, they're in Disney. They're in Disney
Yeah.
World.
Oh
so
my
that makes
God.
sense.
Oh my God, they don't
But
have
training.
flying rugs. They have flying Bibles in Disney.
Flying
Right?
Bible.
Probably.
The story, the real
That'd be
story
so
of Christ. But tell us what you feel about the bubble and what we've seen so far.
Well, there's a lot going on here. I'm
Yes.
happy that we're starting to get this whole thing figured out, but I know that at first the players were not quite happy with the cuisine that was
They were
given to
giving them
them.
Lunchables. and
They
said,
were
"This is
You know what that was? That was straight up airline food. I'm
No,
surprised that I
facts.
did not see the Biscoff wafers and the tiny cups and then the ginger ale right there
Man.
with
Well,
a tray with an indentation.
Yeah.
in
Maybe
it.
that was just for Troy. You know, so everyone else was posting like
Ennis,
decent food.
yeah.
Cantor, man.
Maybe
This
they were
was
like,
looking
hey, who are you?
It was
Oh,
him and-
Troy Daniels. Oh, get the Troy Daniel meal.
LeBron has like a steak and Troy Daniels has like a brown paper
Big ass
bag.
ribeye. And they're like, oh, the Troy Daniel meal, here it comes. And it's
It's
just
a
like,
brown paper bag with like a peanut butter sandwich in it.
hey, Troy Daniels, we are sorry. We're comedians as well, so we're sorry about that. But
Oh man.
so yeah, crazy.
Damn. So I think the food thing was funny. Some of the comments people are making, like on Twitter, with like Joel Embiid's whole getup, where
Oh,
he's in
yeah,
like a,
God.
that whole spacesuit
He
that
doesn't
didn't
wanna
even
be
fit
there.
him. No, he
He
really
doesn't-
doesn't.
he
He's
doesn't
doing.
wanna
I
be
think
there.
honestly, there are a lot of guys low key that don't want to be there that aren't
They
voicing
don't.
it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's. I'm telling you right now, I legitimately think they are going to cancel some of these leagues soon because the numbers keep spiking, and the more players that decide to drop out or get the fear in their mind and start voicing their.
But I don't
opinions
even
that
think
door.
a lot of it is
I
the
think they're
fear.
already there. I think
Yeah.
they're already there. The guys are like, okay, this is what's happening. This is what's going down.
I don't
Look,
think it's
I don't
the
want
fear.
the league to come back, but if it does, I won't complain.
You know what I think
That's what I
it
It's
mean.
gonna be
is?
sad.
Because you look at guys like LeBron and Dame who has families, and they were taking pictures and they put in their tweets, it's like I'm leaving my family to do a bid. Because
Yeah.
you're going to be away from your family 3 months for sure. And if you make it to the finals, it may be a little longer. So it's like, damn, like that's tough. Like Embiid might have his woman at home that he'd rather spend time with and chill with because you never know what can happen. But I have to be here with just me and my guys playing basketball. Which
It's
And
really
think about the
tough.
schedule when it starts up again. That means in a couple months after that, when the NBA restarts again in December, right?
Yeah.
That means at that point we could potentially have another bubble situation.
Yeah, more time away from your family. Which
Yeah.
is
We don't know what's going to happen then. If cases
So I
start
think
spiking,
what we should do as a whole in the United States then, I mean, thankfully, like I have my health and people around me are all healthy, but that's not the case with everyone,
everyone,
you know? And I know that there's a lot going on right now. So the best case scenario would be for literally this entire country to just like shut down again.
that's what I've
For
been
like
saying.
a solid, like we should have done it like a little longer.
We should
And I
have. You
think-
put in the work in the front
Yeah,
end.
and I think Arizona did mess up by opening up certain things too quickly, like
not
the
just
bars and the
Arizona,
clubs.
Atlanta,
Okay, so
Houston,
basically
South
everywhere.
Florida.
Well, yeah, but so I'm just hoping though, like I think the bubble situation can work, but I don't know all the logistics. So like the workers that are coming in and out of these buildings, like are they able to go home? Like are they all getting tested? Do they have instant
There's a
testing?
lot of
Like
ways to get
I think
infected
they're
on the
all.
inside.
I think because they haven't really talked about that, so we don't know. But I think it's like everybody's here, you're gonna be in here. But it's like where's the food coming from? You know, different things like that. You're just
Michael,
unsure of.
we got to touch on something that you brought up, right? And that's something that I haven't seen a lot on shows. We got to own up to the fact that we should have stayed indoors a lot longer than we did.
probably.
No facts. Yeah.
100%. Put it on the front end. Don't skimp right now. Now's
Yeah.
the time where we should have stayed indoors a lot longer. That way, by the time we were at right now,
Yeah.
we could potentially either be in a lighter situation out of this
But
mess to
some
degree,
people
in
just-
containment. But we didn't do it.
No,
People
yeah.
didn't take
Some
it
people just
seriously.
don't do it. Yeah.
People were allowing other people to look at it as a hoax, like a joke. Like it was something that after 2 weeks, oh, okay, screw it, I'm going back outside.
When I stayed quarantined, I mean, I was in my house for like a solid, I know all of March, April, and then May we opened back up. But I was literally like for those first couple months just at home because I remember I left LA and I got sick, and I know everyone that was out here got sick, like literally everyone. Because I know,
me.
right? Wow, knock on wood.
He was the one schmuck that didn't get sick. I gotta admit, Michael, You know, you annoy me a lot, but one thing that I actually envy is that you managed to stay sickness-free basically from this entire year. This entire year, you've been sickness-free.
That's amazing. Yeah, because I know
Wakanda
everyone.
forever.
So it was Chicago. We all went to Chicago All-Star. And then I know that I can't with you. Yeah, Chicago All-Star, and then everyone went to LA right after, and then everyone got freaking sick.
Can you imagine how tired Chadwick Boseman was? Like people go up to him, like see him on the street, and go like, "Wakanda forever." Like, remember at the beginning, he's like got it tight, and then like at the award, he's like,
it's like down here with you,
like barely can, like,
He's like,
bro,
I can't anymore.
bro. It's like that scene in Superbad where they're like, "Hey Craig, why don't you go piss your pants again?" It was like 8 years ago, asshole. People don't forget it.
Facts. So the whole bubble situation very unique. Can't wait to see it more and more. See how the players react and see how how they play.
Are you gonna move the camera a little bit because your whole face has been covered by the camera this whole time?
That's why I've been moving back when I talk.
I'm just letting you know because I don't want you to like see later and you're like, damn.
Look at me. I look like pasty white.
Yeah.
I literally look pasty white.
Snow White in the Seven Doors.
Right.
But
Snow White into hills.
So basketball is gonna be back soon. Us basketball fans are excited. Yep. And we just before we get out of here, we want to get your takes of who do you think is going to be playing in the finals and who do you think is going to win.
And you can pick. You can do this. Just pick your top two for the finals, and then pick who you think is going to win.
Yeah, top two for who's going to win the East, who's going to win the West, and who's going to win the championship.
It's between the Lakers and the Clippers.
Agreed.
The West. Which, by the way, I actually saw Montrezl Harrell brought a sauna. Like
I saw that.
Portable
Yeah.
sauna. I'm like, okay, so these guys are really serious.
Yeah.
All right. And then you saw like Pat Bev had the sage in his room, and I'm just all like,
And he has the white tees, so I need one of those. Bro.
All those tees, yeah. I mean, they all look like they're locked in.
Mm-hmm.
Lakers, obviously, too. And then for the East, I'm probably going to go with Bucks.
Bucks, I like it.
And then I think for the West, I'm going to go... Okay, chill out. I don't need you shaking your head at me.
No. I'm waiting for the West. That's why I think I know who you're gonna pick. That's why I'm really hoping.
She said Milwaukee, so I like Giannis.
I'm really hoping you say the Clippers because I don't want the Lakers.
I do want the Lakers. Okay, but here's
Speak your truth, man.
I want the Lakers, but I do think the Clippers have more depth, and I do think that they have more star power as a whole. But
maybe not that second part.
Yeah.
The first part,
I think they do.
Nobody will stop it, but so you got Clippers.
That was,
Sounds like you
I
got
know.
Clippers.
I'm gonna.
You all in the coupe smoking cat piss. Little bitch, shut the fuck up. Tell your best friend, shut the fuck up. Hey, little bitch, shut the fuck up. Tell your best friend, shut the fuck up. Hey.
Yeah.
Shout out to Baby Keem for that one. This is a Don't At Me exclusive where you see
we back at it, baby. Back
going at it.
And we got commercial breaks now. We popping.
We didn't even push the button, bro.
I know I had to beat the finger.
Ready? We're back, baby. All right, Ashley.
So
you have to pick.
She had time to think about it, so she said the Bucks are coming out of the East.
Yes.
And the West team will be
The Los Angeles Lakers.
Where's
We get it. Mute his ass. You are muted.
Damn.
I love the answer.
This is back to like being in the car with the windows. This is
Oh my god.
All right, Michael's back on the
All right,
So
you
the
gotta
Lakers and the
go with LeBron
Lakers, Bucks,
and Anthony Davis. Yes, but you can make an argument for the Clippers too.
No, of
I
course.
get it. Absolutely, they got
All
some
right, so
depth.
Lakers, Bucks. Who do you have?
Lakers.
Oh, Brown for
All
four.
right, well, that's a.
I got the same. I got
on this episode. Don't At
Anthony
Me.
Davis.
I never make a terrible
Anthony
pick,
Davis getting the
so.
Finals MVP. That's what I have.
Ooh.
You know what I have to
If the
say?
NBA allows it.
Bruh.
Probably won't.
Yeah, bro.
And now, all right, let's get to the right picks. So I have the Clippers coming out of the Western Conference. I think that defense is a lot easier than offense to shake off.
Clippers and
And the
Celtics.
Clippers are going to be going hard against the Lakers. They're going to survive and come out of the West. And out of the East, Out of the East, I think that it's going to be a race for the Bucks. I think they're the surefire favorites, but I'm going to say dark horse would be the Celtics, if not the Raptors. I think the Raptors definitely have a great shot, especially, look, I've been a big judge on the concept of having players slim down, then returning, having to readjust in their new bodies, get back into shape and form to be with these other guys. But Kyle Lowry and Marc Gasol have made it a tremendous adjustment with their weight. They're looking lean and ready to go and run miles out there, so I think that they're going to be good. I think the Raptors... Shout
out to the true dark horse, who I think, if they can get their act together, Philly, if you finally stop it together...
Can we stop?
I got to give them some love.
No, I'm done and tired with this.
That's a dark horse. They're not a favorite.
They're not a dark horse. A dark horse is literally
Miami
the Celtics or the
Miami's too
Raptors.
young. I don't think they're playoff ready. They're
the Bucks are such foregone conclusions to come out of the Eastern Conference, right? A dark horse then means the next two teams. So we're going to have to put the Raptors and the Celtics in that category.
No,
they're the dark horse.
What about the Heat?
Two teams.
They're not real.
Another team will play Milwaukee, so they have a chance. I think that, I'm telling you, Ben Simmons is back. Embiid's body's in great shape.
I'm tired of this. You want to call them Showtime 2.0? Congratulations.
No, they're Showtime 0.5. They're not above.
My guy, the Philadelphia 76ers are known for doing one thing, and that is underachieving. So leave it there. Be wrong. This is like the Tom Brady falling off the cliff type of pick. You're trying to be like Max Kellerman right now.
He did fall off the cliff.
He won a Super Bowl right after that comment was made.
Because he has the best coach of all time.
And now look what's going on.
Hey,
That's not a bad thing.
Shout out Max Kellerman.
Is one of my
You're
idols.
the man.
Max Kellerman is one of my idols in this industry. Being a young Jewish man to come out of New York and make it to the biggest stage and be on First Take, that is nothing short of amazing. And to me, as a Jewish male, that's a role model right there. Max Kellerman says it straight. I know I got serious there for a minute, but he really...
it got real.
Seriously, like everyone has those guys that we look at as their idols. Like, he's been a guy that I've followed for years.
I loved him in boxing on HBO, and he was dope on that.
I loved him when he was doing LA Drive Time with Marcellus.
I loved him when he was rapping.
Yes, honestly, Max Kellerman had bars in that video.
You're lying. I was playing.
I'm trying to hype him up.
Yeah, I know. He was not tight. But hey, Ash, we thank you so much for joining us on this episode. Again, the last time we were on an episode, it was very entertaining.
It was a very special episode.
So, hey, y'all need to check that out. One of your favorite Don't Act Me moments was there. But, man, thank you. Where can we find you? Where can the people find you?
On Instagram or Twitter.
What's your
at Ashley Nevel.
Damn, I slammed my hand on the table.
Good, I hope you guys both break your fingers.
So, so spell it out for the people who
don't know how to spell Ashley. Okay.
I mean, there's like Ashley.
Yeah, but it's the normal way. This is ASHLEY Nevel NEVEL.
There we go.
NEVEL.
Nevel.
Nevel NEVEL. Ashley Nevel, hey, she's killing the game.
Thanks.
Check out her work. She's our buddy. We're happy and we are ready for that. But Wayne's brother,
where are you trying to go with that?
The Wayne's brother,
you
give me a high.
love you guys.
Yeah.
Guys, as usual, don't forget to like and subscribe at Alex Himes, ALEXHYMES on YouTube. And as usual, please check us out on social media. This is Michael the PG over here.
Yep.
MYKELL
THEPG.
There we go. Very simple. And I'm at Himes LA, HYMESLA. And as usual, guys, this is the latest episode of Don't At Me. Oh, wait, let's do this right and give it justice. Live from Beverly Hills on a Friday night. Shabbat Shalom to my Jewish brothers. It is Don't At Me Live.
And we are out of here. Thank you so much, Ashley.
Of course.